Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
I want to introduce you to a friend of mine and a friend of my family's, Father Jim Drucker. Father Jim Drucker. If I gave the American public your entire background, your entire resume, we'd be going till 5 a.m. I'm going to hit the bullet points because I'm proud to know you. Father Jim Drucker is a Purple Heart. He is a major, which branch of service, Father?
United States Air Force.
Okay, stop.
Army during Vietnam.
No, stop. You always give too much. It's all incredible, but I wanted you to say a major in the United States Air Force. Just that sentence alone should be enough, but it's not. Major in the U.S. Air Force. He was the official Navy chaplain in Desert Storm. He was stationed in Afghanistan. He worked with those soldiers, and now he spends his days working at VA hospitals, visiting soldiers who need to be visited. But that's impressive. He also hosts a weekend radio show because he is the rock and roll priest. Now, what qualifies him to be the rock and roll priest? Matt, wait till you hear this. What qualifies him to be the rock and roll priest is he casually mentions to me that before he became a priest over 45 years ago, he was a disc jockey on the radio. And I'm like, okay. And then he said he was a disc jockey on WARM. I said, you were what? He was a disc jockey on WARM in Northeast Pennsylvania, otherwise known as Warmland. Now, in every industry, there are outlets, businesses considered to be the best in that industry, regardless of where they are geographically. It could be a great little grocery store that only exists in South Bend, Portland, Oregon. It could be a cell phone store in Georgia where everybody knows for whatever reason everybody who goes there is happy, as opposed to when you and I go to a cell phone store, we're furious. We're always furious in a cell phone store because it is the worst. There was nothing wrong with landlines, nothing. And WARM from 1960 to 1975 was considered to be the best top 40 station in America. And I've known many other radio geeks and many other people who've worked there, like T.J. Lambert. I knew other people who worked there went on to become big deals, the way you, Father, have become a big deal in an entirely different life. But you knew at the time that was the greatest top 40 station in America. And I grew up listening to this station. I grew up listening to WABC. WABC, unquestionably a spectacular radio station. It's hard to explain what Warm was, but oh my God. So you were a disc jockey on freaking Warm, a Catholic priest for 45 years, saved lives. And the reason I needed to talk to you tonight was because I have not heard the perspective of a soldier in Iran. I have not heard the perspective of a soldier on those aircraft carriers, and I've not heard the perspective of a soldier on a fighter jet. And I thought maybe you could share that with us tonight, Father Drucker.
I would first of all like to thank you for letting me share the airways on 50 kilowatt ABC. This is a blessing for sure. I work with T.J. Lambert, by the way, on Warm Radio.
He denies it. Man. He says he has no memory of you. He denies it and doesn't ever want to hear your name, Father. He says, just don't bring him up.
That's only because I was better than him. That's only because I was better than him. But anyway,
there's that, yes.
Listen, it was a blessing to have served our country as an Air Force chaplain in Desert Storm. And I can tell you that there's 50,000 troops right now, not boots on ground, but in Middle East, and primarily Marines, the greatest armed forces in the world, and the Navy. And, of course, the Marines are the Army of the Navy. So we have the men and women there. These men and women are struggling now as strong as they are. And I have to start this with the thought that we as Americans are born in a culture that we're born in love. We're born in faith. We're born with religion, whatever faith we are. We're a country that has a faith of just love for each other and respect. So each of these soldiers right now, these Navy, these sailors, these airmen, women, are struggling with the thinking that they may have to harm someone. God forbid they may have to kill someone. On the other side of the coin is their own fear of themselves being possibly killed, and they're always thinking of their comrades, of their brother, sister, soldier. It's a quandary. And Americans are not born to kill. We're born in a culture that cares, that seeks justice, seeks fairness, seeks dignity. Many nations do not believe that. They do not have that same thing in their hearts and their souls. So these men and women are frightened and worried. And while they still have the strength to follow through on their orders and to do what is commanded of them, they have the fear of killing and possibly being killed themselves, and to be concerned about that in their lives. It's a quandary and a very difficult situation for any man and woman with a uniform on, Walter.
You're the first person who ever brought to us the perspective of they are worried about the possibility that they are going to have to kill. We always assume they're afraid of being killed, but never do we think through, they're being asked to do the most unnatural thing for an American, especially a dutiful, conscientious, disciplined young American who would never think of killing anybody, and they are sent there to kill. And that's a perspective that we need and that I appreciate. And Father Drucker, because you're a priest and I don't want you mad at me, do you have a final thought?
My thought is to pray for our men and women overseas primarily, and to pray for all soldiers of all good faith and goodwill of good nations, and that God would protect people in the world, and that the peace talks now taking place would be honest and fair and just. And that would be my prayer and my wish. And I want to thank you, Walter, and your New York audience for allowing me this ability to bring forth God and bring forth what a soldier is dealing with right now in their heart. And my friends, pray for them. Pray for them hard, and pray for priests as hard as you can.
Father Jim Drucker, thank you very much for being on the other side of midnight. I appreciate it, on the Red Apple Audio Networks with Walter Sterling.
Roger Stone here. Every day you wait, your money loses value, but gold and silver don't follow those same rules. American Sovereign Bullion gives you access to a nationwide wholesaler network, helping you secure aggressive pricing on real physical metals. Call 844-272-2428 now to get your free gold and silver guide to learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver, delivered right to your door or with a gold IRA. Visit ASBGold.com. That's ASBGold.com for your free gold and silver guide today.